You're a rebel, getting into trouble. You are kinda like a fire, like a fire, like a fire. Unpredictable, so original. You are never backing down, backing down, backing down. That's what I like about you. So dangerous, I get this rush when I'm with you. I go all in to lose or win. Build things up to knock 'em down. It's the way we keep our high, moving like a hurricane. There will come a time for when we can wash away your sins, settle down, but until then, we're like a You're so different, kind of ignorant. You don't care what people say, people say, people say. I'm going crazy for you, baby. Don't know how you're making me feel this way. What can I say? That's what I like about you.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another special episode of Mommy Guide Inc. Today, we're gonna be having J.A. Smith or Jay Smith again for the third time here on Mommy Guide Inc. I know that we have learned so much about notions from Jay. Okay, in the past. So if you have missed those episodes, please, I will put them in the description down below. And please do watch it because this is a pretty advanced class. A little bit. Okay. But of course, as we know, Jeffrey always goes back to a little bit of the basics every time that we go live with him. Okay. It has been an honor for us to collaborate with Jay Smith. Every 2 months, he has agreed to be with us here on Mommy Guiding to teach us more about not just notions in the future, but about productivity. Okay, apps and different things that we can actually use to make our lives and our streaming and our work even more productive and more workable, so to speak, right? Is that such a word? Anyway, so tonight we have with us, of course, Jay Smith, who is now a Notion essentialist. What is that? All right, so we will get to know more of this, okay, as we talk with Jay in a little bit. So again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And without further ado, let's bring in Jay Smith. Hi, Jeffrey.
How you doing, Lala? I always forget. I have to get up early here, and I always forget it's evening. So every time I go in the chat, I'm always like, "Good morning, everybody." I'm like, "Oh," everybody's like, "Oh, good evening."
Yes,
So
it's actually
I don't know.
pretty early. Okay, Jay is on the CST time zone, so he's
Yeah,
actually 13 hours behind. So he's
behind.
actually just 7 a.m. Oh no, now it's 8 a.m. for him. But he woke up
I
pretty
am.
early so that we could, first check about our setup at the back before we actually go live. So again, Jay, how have you
Yeah,
been? How have you
I'm
been?
doing great. I'm always 13 hours behind, by the way, so that's not unusual in my
Uh-huh.
life. Uh, I'm doing good. How are you? I'm doing great. It's been the summer is already here, but it feels like it's going fast. So I'm just trying to, like everybody else, I'm just trying to catch up. get
Yes.
things done.
So it's
It's
been
been a
two
busy,
months since we last saw you, right? And I know that you've been
yeah.
super pretty
It's been
busy. So, okay, so maybe just a heads up. What is a Notion essentialist? Because the last time you were here, we didn't know what that was, right? So maybe you can tell us something a
no.
little bit about
I
that one.
a lot of people didn't because they actually changed it. I there are certain levels of Notion certification, and the first one you go out there and you kind of get this kind of Notion certified is what they called it. But
Mm-hmm.
then it was confusing because then you can go on to become a Notion certified consultant. So then they changed they call it a badge, but it's called Notion Essentials, and you get a Notion Essentials badge, and it's encrypted, so people can't just steal it can be checked and verified. And so I was glad that they did that actually. So I was happy. I went through the exam and did that. Was a little bit harder than I thought, but I got through it. And actually, it was you who kind of prodded me a little bit to do it, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to do that. And so now I'm going to work on my Notion consulting certification, which is
Awesome.
quite involved, and it'll take a few months. Hopefully, by the end of the summer, I'll have that done. In the meantime, I'm working on other things like I just took a big 5-week course with it's a cohort course with Tiago Forte, who is the inventor of building a second brain, and I'm
Wow.
really into that. So my channel is shifting, which is why I haven't really put up any videos or done
Mm-hmm.
lives. I've been really working on trying to get my tool sets together and my life together on how I want to work in the area of building a second brain, which goes beyond just tools because it is tool agnostic. It's really more about there's some mental game there. There's your flow, there's your systems, and whatever tools you decide, which I'm a huge Notion fan, but I'm also working with Rome Research. I'm really enjoying that. So I'm
Wow,
hoping to get some
so
videos out
many,
on that. So
yes, so many amazing, awesome things happening, Jay. It's like in just two
a lot
months,
of
right?
things.
So we're
Yeah.
looking so forward to all these changes on Jay Smith's channel. So let's watch and wait for that. Of course, we will be announcing that when actually you up
Hmm.
or you have made the changes already, Jay. So you're also
Yeah.
into building a second brain. I hope that you could also share that with us in the community. Once
I would love that. I thought about your community when I
Mhm.
went through that course, which was very involved. It's a beautiful community. You're going to hear a lot more about this in the coming years as this builds. It's really centered around the personal knowledge management issues,
Mhm.
and I would imagine your community feels this way. We are so busy, and what's happened with the internet and information is we are becoming overwhelmed by information. We are being exhausted with
Mhm.
information, but as people who do YouTube or projects, we love to find new things, but the problem is we find things and we capture a million things, but it's
Mhm.
how do we locate them and not feel exhausted by all the possibilities and find ways to make things simpler so we can actually output.
Wow,
And
Jeff.
that's a very
Exactly.
watered down view of it, but I
This,
wanted to, yeah,
yes, this is super exciting. I hope that you can come up with this contents pretty soon.
I
I
love
think
it.
we
Yeah.
absolutely need this kinds of, discussions on
Well,
this topic.
and the beautiful thing is Notion is one of the main tools that people often use to build their second brain. I'm using it in
Mhm.
conjunction with what's called Rome Research, which is really for writers and researchers. I want to use that for building scripts for blogs and videos,
Mhm.
maybe a book down the road. So, but Notion is a beautiful tool to use to get your second brain in order. And all that means is we are not made to store information technically. And so
Mhm.
when you're juggling all that information up in your brain, it tends to paralyze the output. We don't really have our output mode. We can't be creative juggling all these plates in our lives. And
Mhm.
so it's about building a system that you can trust to know that your information is being captured and stored in ways that you can find it, not siloed and disappearing
All
in a
right.
bunch of
So
folders.
from that, on that note, okay, when you talk about
Yeah.
system, okay, so
Yeah.
Jay, I could not even put into words how grateful we are for you coming on board and telling
Mhm.
us all about Notions. From when you started with us telling us about Notions, I've actually
Yeah.
navigated towards using that in in my live streaming in terms of bringing in guests, bringing in information towards my guests, making all the plans via Notion, and then integrating it with Calendly. And there are even organizations within our community like Craft, Create, and Swap Club admin, absolutely 100% Notion right now. Again, because of you, Jay. All right, so guys, if you want to actually know more about what we're talking about, feel free to contact Jay Smith. I'll put all his links down below after this one, because he actually is a consultant for Notion. So if you want to,
well, I'm not a consultant. I want to be careful here. I'm not a full consultant yet.
Okay.
I'm working towards that, but
essential.
Yeah.
List?
I'm essentially certified, which is a nice level to be at. And what is nice is once you do, and the reason I'm careful with that is because I don't have that certification. But when you are certified, they put you on their official consultant list, which is really nice. And they put you, that's kind of nice for people.
Right.
But
so careful
I'm happy.
About
I'm so honored to be, a consultant on here for your lovely community for Notion. So anything that I can do. And I have come up with a lot of ideas to take us down some roads as we move forward. And I'm excited for that as we go.
Because there are other communities in our, smaller communities within our bigger community who has asked me if they could invite you over for like Zooms for their communities, right? So I said, okay, we will ask that the next time we have Jay. All right. And probably, some organizations who also want to, make their systems even better. All right. So I know that you guys are very interested in knowing what is new for Notion for us. Okay. But again, let's just choose some of the comments here in the chat. There's so many right now, basically just saying good evening, good morning, hi to you and me, and to everybody in the chat. As you know, that is how it is, right? Even in Jay's community and John Ryan's, it's like that. So hello, Fine Art of Distraction. He is from the Fluid Artist community from Australia. Okay, hi there,
I love the Fine Art of Distraction is wonderful.
Exactly.
I love that title.
Aim Rose Barago, hello po. Okay, so there's everybody. And of course, Tina One Kenobi.
Hey,
hi,
Tina.
sister.
Oh, of course.
She drove me here like, Michael Schumacher, trying to, veer away from all the traffic just to get me back home safely and on time.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tina. And hi, Nathan. Hello, Aim Rose. And this Jay saying hi to everybody. All right. And then we have Whimsical Thoughts. Hi, Miss Whims. Good evening, batchmate. Jay Smith and Tina. Yes, Marie is actually the founder of Craft, Create, and Swap Club, who is now 100% Notion for their team.
Oh, sweet. All right.
Exactly. All right. So, Miss KM, hello. Miss Gladys. Ayan. Guys, I'm just skipping everything that is about hi, hello for now so that we can actually start. But I super appreciate you guys for being here and for being in the chat. Please feel free to just say hi and hello to everybody. Ayan. Maria Angelica Ganyo, maraming salamat po for being here and saying hi to everybody. Didn't know that Notion had consultants. That's so cool. Yes, they're beginning to make it like certifications, giving out certifications. Yes, but there's a process, guys. And as Jay said, it's not as easy as he thought it would be, right? Yeah, so it's
takes some work.
Bit, yes, there's work. All right. And Norman's Diary, mega love shout out. Hi, Norman. Doc Reed, hello. All right. So I think, and we have Tommy. Hi, Tommy. This is from.
Oh my gosh, Tommy! They let him out.
Yes, you're so early. Thanks for waking up so early. All right.
Second belly, yes, it's very similar. That's where you store your other things, so you can put more things in your first belly. So very good on you. You're so on it.
Okay. And Noy says Notion. Okay, don't worry, Noy. We will, not hopefully that's not gonna be a question mark later on, but an exclamation point. There you go. Right.
I love that. That's
Daisy
good.
Scrapbooky Crafter, hello. I hope that, all the crafters and even the Filipino community will really benefit from our topic for tonight. And we have Master Red from Saudi Arabia. Hello, guys. All right. So, Tina said, I am Schumacher. Yes, I am Schumacher. Just a Jedi trying to Roy her ex.
I like that.
I'm no Schumacher.
Some Star Wars nerd stuff going on.
Exactly. That's why her name is Tina One Kenobi. She is really
I know. I love it. It's perfect.
Exactly. Star Wars big time. Again, Jay, thank you so much. And let's start.
Thank you for
okay,
having
so
me.
what's new for tonight, Jay?
Well, okay, let's just take for those who have been here before and we don't want to linger too much on it, but we've been kind of nibbling around this idea of a crafty planner, right? And that itself can be augmented and improved on as we go. I have some ideas for that. And so we had built up this crafty planner. Now I've kind of put some new things in mine. For example, I've created this thing called Project Seedlings, which is basically ideas. So these, we're kind of getting seedlings together of ideas. And then these are called planted projects. And all that means is these are projects that I have decided to go ahead and make, I've decided to act on, right? So I want to put my live streams out there, have my event calendared and put it out there and actually start to work on that project. And I'm not really going to get into this today, but the point being is this is what we've been kind of working on, right? This planner idea for our projects, for our crafty planners. And I think we even had in there one of the ideas, I don't remember, let me see if I can pull that up, but one of our projects was an ornament, I believe, an ornament project that we had worked on, and I kind of did it as an example. And this is not part of the actual thing today, but I just wanted to kind of review some things that we did. So we kind of created a little bit of a project for a paper accordion ornament, how you could go about doing that. That's a video we did a while back, right? So for today, I just wanted to kind of circle back and talk about the dashboards. And now a lot of you may have gone into this routine. I don't know if you have, Lala, but a lot of people like to create an overall dashboard. So I always think of Notion as sort of a website, a personal website, right? On the left, we have a menuing system in Notion, and hopefully you can see it. And so each one of our little projects that we create is a little bit like a website within Notion, which is the main website. And that's just kind of a hierarchical thing you don't have to get lost in, but I just wanted to point that out. The point being is rather than using all this left side navigation, a lot of times what we do is we like to create our own dashboard to navigate our world, okay? So what I've done, and we've talked about this, is I've created what's called a crafty dashboard. And let's just assume this is our homepage for our whole Notion efforts, okay, for this moment. And so I open up Notion and I'm here for this morning. And I could do, look, I've just created an idea here. You can have this obviously a million different ways, your ways. I just want to go through some of the basics so you can start to play around with how to put this together. And so in this case, this dashboard, typical look, we've got a cover and an icon and a title, and I put just a little bit of a thing here. Just trust the timing. It's just a little bit of a quote or something to get moving. You could have affirmations to look at. You could have a little kind of a checklist or a planner for the day if you wanted. I've got weather from Milwaukee where I'm at. Look at all. I've got even a little slider. If people don't know, you can put little sliders in there. Don't look at that goof. I've got what's called my hub. I'll come back to that. Over on the right here, I've got these quick hits, which I know is behind my face right now. Maybe you could drop me down in the middle or so. I know it's going to be a little bit of a chase here at times. There you go. So, a little bit of a quick calendar. These are called widgets. We're going to talk about that if you don't know what those are. And we'll get a little bit of a countdown. I kind of set a countdown for the stream. Obviously, I didn't set it on time because it still shows 20 minutes. Oh, no, 20 minutes ago. So it did count down correctly to our stream this morning. Yeah, exactly at 20 minutes. Here's a little quote.
I want that in my
Yeah, it's very cool. It's very cool. And then I'm going to talk about a hub and show you what that's about. Now, the hub is kind of the heartbeat of our Notion world. And we come to this dashboard. Let's say every morning I come to my dashboard, maybe to start my day and figure out what I'm going to do. You can see I have our crafty planner here because that's, if I'm a crafty person, that's probably the primary thing I'm going to work on. I have project seedlings. Maybe you're interested in daily journal. Maybe you have recipes. So the hub becomes areas of your life, right? Travel, could be health, could be finance. It could be anything. I had in here anything suppliers for crafts. So all these are just quick ways and very nice visual ways to get where you want to go within your Notion universe. And sometimes it's just nicer. Now, you could have, all that really is a table. Okay, remember we create the table, but people forget. So often you can create a visual gallery view of that, and I think it's a little bit more. I don't know, it's just more personalized and just kind of feels a little bit more inviting than just a stale table like this. Sometimes the table's nice, but I think you'd agree that the gallery has a nicer view. So what you could do is now I click on my Crafty Planner, that opens up that area, and now I can go ahead and set my live streams for my Crafty Planner. And I'm just going through the walkthrough here. I'm going to backtrack and we're going to build this page in a second. I just want you to understand why I'm doing this in case people are saying, well, what's the point of a dashboard? The dashboard is just, it's really just to kind of center your world and give you a little bit of your canvas to your Notion universe in a very intimate or tailored way that connects to you, right? It's important to connect to apps that you work in so often. They need to function and be laid out in a way that works with your flow, but also they need to kind of speak to your vision and how something that you can be connected to, I think, anyway. So let's build this dashboard. Okay.
Yay. All right,
Yay.
Jay, hold on. Hold on. Can I
You
hold
wanna-
on for a
Yep.
while? All right.
Good place to
so
stop.
guys,
Yep.
as Jay tries to build the dashboard, for those who are new to Notion and you're like, what are they doing? Okay, don't worry. At this point, just watch and enjoy. But if you would go back to the 2 previous videos that we had with Jeff or on Notion, okay, on my channel, you would better understand. But for those who have actually joined us for the past 2 streams about Notions, then this is this one would be truly exciting for you. So guys, just put your questions or comments in the chat. Okay, Jay, we have John. I saw John's comment a while back. Okay, he's saying, hey buddy. Okay, I'm just trying to look for it. There you go. Hi, Coffee Talk and Tech. Hi, John.
Oh, there he
you
is. There's the
go.
man of the hour.
Yes, of course.
How
we
you
have
doing,
Judy
my buddy
Crafty.
from New Jersey? It's good to see him.
Hello. All right. So, guys, remember John and Jay, they were the ones of the very first who were really supporting Mommy Guide in the beginning and up to now. All right. At Margie, thank you. All right. So, let's go
Oh.
back to Notion. Okay.
Yeah, I think you made a good point.
Yes.
You made a good point. If don't let this overwhelm you or confuse you. The stuff that I was talking about with the planner, we did step by step in the live streams we did before. So if you want to go look at that to get an idea or just to kind of see what Notion's about, that's great. In the case of the dashboard, it may not be maybe in your best interest to try to build it with me. I know that's kind of weird because a lot of times we do that. It might be best to just go ahead and watch and absorb what I'm doing and then go back and rewatch the video if you want to try to do it yourself. Everybody's different. Just depends on your level of Notion expertise. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have to I'm going to have to do a couple things here. I realize I should bring up another Notion. Hang on one second. Where's my Notion page? There we go. There we go. I'm going to grab this out of the way. I'm working on the browser, but there is an app for Notion that you can download onto as well, a standalone app for Macs and Windows if you decide you want to go that route. I'm trying to. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is, what do we got to do? First thing we have to do when you build anything in Notion is you have to create a new page. And there's a variety of ways of doing that. But let's just start a clean new page at the bottom left. We'll just go very normal, old school. I'm not going to use shortcuts and things, advanced ways. We're going to use very simple ways to get through. So you create a new page. And in our case, we're going to call it Crafty Dashboard. Now we already have one in here. So I'm just going to call it, let's see, what can we call it? We'll go ahead. Crafty. You know what? I'm just going to do it this way for now. My Crafty Dashboard. We don't get confused. And
So
when you
this is
do
a
that, you've got to...
totally new page, right, Jay?
Yeah, there's a whole new page. So we're going to create a whole dashboard from here. And they always give you options at the bottom here. If you want to put for us, we're going to click off somewhere and we're not going to do any of that stuff. We're going to have a blank page. And with Notion, they always start you a new page or a pulled up page in this small view. I don't actually like that. You can get around that. But we're going to want to make it full size. Okay, so you can see what's going on with your crafty planner here. I'm also going to get rid of this sidebar. We don't need this at this point. So the first thing that I like to do now with anything in building the dashboards, there are maybe the two things that are going to be new to some people and kind of critical. And that is, how do you do columns? Because sometimes that throws people. How do you create these columns? Because I think in my dashboard, I have 3 columns. So some people I don't know how to do columns. It's a little fussy. We'll show you how to do that. And then the second one is we're using widgets. So you can pull in widgets to do these fun little things. The calendars, you could bring in your Google Calendar if you wanted. You can bring in quotes. You can bring in the countdown. So I'll show you a little bit of that and where you can go get these for free and how you would do that. They're not hard. Okay, none of this is actually very hard. But the first thing I'm going to do, and let's see if it's going to get in the way up here. I know Lala's trying to stay on it, but you got to put me back. I tell you, put me at the bottom left. I think we're going to be safe down there. Okay. So when you've got your dashboard page all ready to go, the first thing I like to do in this case is we want to make it full width. And so you're going to go up to these 3 dots up here if you don't know, and you're going to turn on full width, and you can see how it makes full width. That's the design we want. I also like to make it, you don't have to, this is a user's choice. I like to make small text to try to make things a little more compressed and easier to do here. So that's the first thing I would do, and we're kind of set. So now the first thing after we get the page created and our alignment set up, we're going to want to create a cover at the top and put our little icon in there. And people are like, how do you do that? Just hover over your My Crafty title, or any page title. It all works the same. So once you know how to do this in one page, you know how to do it on every other page. And we're going to add a cover. And if you don't know how to do that, there's a lot of ways to add covers. But you can change the cover over here, and you can choose from their gallery, or you can upload your own image, of course. You can use Unsplash and type in a category. Let's put in here, let's see if we type in craft and see what it puts in here. Yeah, here we go. So I think I use something like this, and then that's all you have to do, and you got a title. And if you don't like the way that looks, you can hit reposition and you can drag it around to get a little bit more of a size that you want. So that's an option right there. So you don't have to put a cover in, but again, we want to make it look kind of pretty. And then if you want to put a little icon in there, which I think is always nice, hover over it again, click icon, and then when you click on it, you can change that. What I usually do is just type in like something craft. Let me see what we got for, or you know what? Scissors is a good craft option. So I'll put a little scissors up there. There we go. Our page is created. So we're good to go. So now we have to do the balance of it. So let me just show you what we had. It's going to look a little different because I decided to use some different options. But this is our dashboard. So we've created the title or the cover page. The little icon. So now we're going to create the body of this. So just to kind of give you an idea what's happening. So how do we do that? And this is where the fun comes in. So I created in mine a little intro column that has a little saying on it. Mine was called Trust the Timing. Yours could be something like, create like your inner self or your inner child or something like that. So maybe we'll do that. So how do you do that? I use call outs to do that. Okay. And so anytime you want to make something and add something, whether like a to-do list or a call out or a title, remember you're going to use the / key. And it even tells you that right here at the bottom, right down there. You can see the slash right there. We hit that and we're going to have options. And then I want to use a call out box. So I just type in CALL and you can see there's a call out box right here. And we're going to click that. This works out really well for things like this. It gives you a nice separation and a colored background and an icon. So we're going to put something like create like your inner child. Okay. Something like that. Just for fun. This is kind of make it personal. And then maybe want to change this icon. So we kind of click on that. And let's see if we can find like art or something. Create something. What can we use here? I know what we're going to use. I like to choose this one right here, the painting. So we just use a painting one right there. Okay, so we have that in there. You see, it's pretty easy, right? So you could just go along and keep doing this backslash and adding things. If you're going to add an image, you can add an image. And we've talked about that in the past. Those are some basics if you need to get caught up. Look back at that. All right. So our next thing is we have to create 3 columns. And I'm going to drag this back in so you can see what we're building here. You can see we have this call out here, but we have 3 columns. So how do we do that? If you don't know how to do that, there's a couple ways to actually do that. I'm going to show you what I think is the easier way to do this when you know you're going to want 3 columns. So each of my columns has the headers. I'm using these call outs or whatever you want to call it. I call it a header. So I'm going to create 3 of those first. So my first one I have in there as a call out, and I listed it affirmations. So let's just do that. Affirmations. That I'm going to change this actually to a star or something. That's fine. We'll just like this. That's fine. And I'm going to put the second one right away, and I called that one the hub. That's all our hub stuff. And then I have a third one, and I called this one quick hits. They're just little small bites, of information or things like that. Whatever you want to call it's fine. So what we're going to do now is make our 3 columns. You could do this a couple ways, but if you already know you're going to do this, it's the easiest way. So this affirmation's going to be our left column. The hub is going to be our middle column. The quick hits our right column. So the easiest way to do this then is to go over here and this grabber. You can see the hand come up, hold down with your mouse, and you're going to drag it. And you're going to drag it to the right. And you can see that line, that blue line popped up right to the right of affirmations. You can see that, Lala, right? You let go, and now you've got 2 columns up there. And then I'm going to do the same thing with quick hits. I'm going to go over here to the right. I see that blue line, and now I've got my 3rd column. So we're actually done. We have 3 columns. Good night, everybody.
Wow.
So because that can get tricky for people. The columns, I think, it can be a little fussy. Now that you have these columns set up, when you take your mouse and go between them, you'll see a little line pop up, and that's the grabber where you can resize your columns. You hold down and drag them. So now you're in control of that. I'll probably make this one like this, and we could always adjust them more later. It doesn't really matter. But there you go. So now if I want to have affirmations underneath there, I call them affirmations. You just click underneath and you start typing. So I had a bullet point, and if you don't know how to make bullet points, you can use an asterisk and hit space, but let's just use the normal way for now and hit the slash key and type in bullet list. And then we're going to put in a few of them. I am proud of myself. We'll put in, I do things that matter to me. And of course, these can be personal. They don't have to be what I put in here. I give myself, let's see here. What is it? Space. Oh, yeah. I can type. I give myself the space. Learn and grow. Okay, there you go. Or crow. Something like that. Okay, so we have the affirmations under column 1 like we wanted. I think I had one more. And so let's space down, a couple spaces, and we're going to put in another section here under this first column. So all you're going to do is go under there, and you can see it's down here. We're going to hit the slash key and hit call out, and we'll stop for a question here after this one so we know. So now this is good that this happened, and we're going to call this one planner. And this is why I wanted to talk about columns. So you're looking at it, you're saying, wait, this is not underneath affirmations in column 1. You're right. Sometimes notions will kind of fool with you. And it's down, it's a whole column right here. It's a simple fix. We just go over here and grab this, and we're going to drag it. See, that's full. We want to drag it, and I can see what happened here. And I'm glad this happened because that's what I want to talk about. This looks like what happened is it thinks this is in first column, and it's not. And what you have to do with these, you have to learn with columns. You got to drag, see right, that big long line, that's a full column. You want to drag it until the blue line is under the column you want. If I wanted this under the hub, I've got to go under the hub. You see that blue line?
Yes.
If I want to go under quick hits, I'd have to go there. I don't want that. I want that to go under affirmations. So I put that blue line right underneath, and now I let go. That is in that column. So that I think that's what frustrates people and puts them off from doing columns, because it's a little confusing, but it's really not that hard. So now my planner, I want underneath there, and I'm going to go right there. You can see how the blue line now is only under that column, and I let go, and now we got it in the first column. And the last thing I'll mention on this, if we want to stop for a second, is that it feels a little tight here. I want a space, and the easy fix there is always just to go to the plus sign and hit that, and that will create a space underneath there, and now we got our space. Do you want to stop and ask for questions? Because I know that can be a lot of information. Lala,
All right,
or
so
should we
let's
go?
check. Okay, guys, so do you have questions thus far? So basically what Jay has been showing us, it's to actually come up with now, when we did our crafty planner, the dashboard was just simply the head, what do you call that? The header, right? And then just bullets basically, or just texts and images, but it's just basically just
Right.
one column, one for each of them. So it's like one
Yes.
idea after the other. But what Jay is showing us now, which is also one of the things that I requested, was for it to look like, for more information to be there in a way that somehow looks like like a website or something, that I want all information to be there in the basic headers, like for example, as what Jay said, affirmations, and then you have other things like in column formation. Okay, but you can put either text or images, and he will tell us later about that. So if you guys have questions, okay, do you have, let me see in the chat, basically everybody's still saying
I think
hi
we're-
to everybody. All right.
Yeah, I love
And,
that.
Yes.
Okay. It's Super Floop finally wants to know how to add columns. I hope so. And so if you have questions, let me know. I'll try not to go too fast. And I'm trying to cover the problems that you will run into, like we just talked about with the columns. But once you figure that out, once you understand how those columns work and how you can get yourself in and out of these little entanglements, they're really, really easy to work with. It's not really complicated once you know the mechanism that goes into this. So I'll kind of reiterate that, and we'll continue building these columns. So
All
you
right.
can, and you could have 2 columns, 4 columns, although that gets tight. 3 columns, I think, is max for me. And like you said, it allows you to build out something a little more customized and have a nicer flow to
Exactly.
your so-called like website.
So guys, if you have a question,
Whoops.
it's the easiest way for me to get those questions out, okay, from the chat, from just the comments and the hi and hellos, all right, is to put a Q before each one. Q colon, all right, so I can put them up faster. Okay, there's a question right now from Yoy. Is this a software, Notion?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yes, it's a software. It's an app. So, it's a great question, because right now, go ahead and put my screen share up, because I think that's a good question. It is a software. It's free, by the way. Don't buy Notion unless you need the Teams building thing. It's free. I'm using free. Don't buy it. It's a powerful app for free. It's amazing. So this I'm showing you right now. You don't see it, but this is actually the web browser version. They've got that, and then I'm going to show you. This is actually the standalone app version. They're the same, but sometimes it's nice to have an app outside of the browser for different reasons. And so you can just download for free on Microsoft or for Mac the standalone app, again, free. They work the same. I like the standalone app because I can use more keyboard shortcuts and build things in. But yeah, so it is an app, and it works on your phone. There's an app for your phone. It's hard to build on that. But they're doing a better job of making it very, very usable as we go. Their updates have been so wonderful lately. So, good question. All right. So on the columns, on the columns, I just want to reiterate that. So when you're trying to move around something and underneath something, just keep in mind that blue line as you're holding it down. Don't just drag and let things up. Make sure you know where you want it to be. If I wanted to create a fourth column in between here, I would actually drag it till I see that and drag it right there, right? That would give me a fourth column. I don't want that. I want that to be placed under here. If you go too far and you see that line all the way across the page, it's going to put it on its own single column like this. So that's all you really have to know to build columns. Outside of that, they can be moved around, this and that. So that's all you have to do. So with that knowledge, and then again, the only other thing is if you feel like you don't have a space, go to the item above your header and just click that button and just give yourself some space, a plus button, and we're good to go. So from here, kind of gets easier. Okay, for the most part. So let's build out this left-hand column. I have a plan thing here, and I'm going to create a bullet here, and just there's a couple ways you can do this. The bullet list I'm going to put here, focus. What I have on here: eat well and look after myself. Okay, and this could be a daily planner that you update every day. It could also be a linked table for a task table that you have, and you could bring that in so it brings up your today's only task. We'll do an advanced class on that down the road if you want. And then you could have a checklist. So you could just add a bullet, do a backslash and hit to do, right? A to-do list. And then you'd have, whoops, I went down. I'm going to back that up and just delete this right here. And I guess I don't. Oh, I see what I did here. I'm going to do it like this. I apologize. We're going to do to-do list. And then we're going to build in a to-do here. Okay. Well, that's not working out for me for some reason. See, sometimes. After that. Let's just create underneath there. We'll just go ahead and create a to-do list and see where it puts us. Okay. So sometimes the bullets don't love to-do lists. So we're going to take the bullet out and we're going to build a standalone if we can get it to work. There we go. And this we're going to put, we're going to grocery shop because we always have to grocery shop, meal prep because that never gets old, and maybe we'll just study for exam. Okay, whatever. Okay, so we have a to-do list all underneath there, and we're good to go. So for now, that's good. And we're not going to do the widget parts yet. We're going to get to that. Well, actually, we're heading into widgets because that's pretty much all that's left out right now are widgets. So I have all this flushed out. Pretty simple stuff in columns. Now we get into widgets, and let's have a quick discussion about widgets. Lala, at this point, are you using widgets at all into your Notion? Have you embedded any? Okay.
No, basically it's all still images and text and links at this point.
Okay. Widgets can be fun. A little cautionary tale on widgets. There's a lot of places you can go for widgets. We'll talk about that, and I will give you that list so you can put them up on the stream maybe later. But my favorite one right now is Indify. They're free. You just sign up with your Gmail account or whatever, and then you can go in and create widgets, and you can see their list of widgets down here. Things like life progress bar, weather, Google Calendar. You can bring in a counter. Well, I'll show you some of these because I did a bunch of examples I wanted you to see. In fact, let me just go to I'm going to back out of this. No, I'm not going to back. I'm going to leave that page up. And I'm going to go to a page that I have where I did this for all of you. I played around with widgets. And so here's some sources. I will put those up for you. But these are all widgets that I created really quick. These are all free, just for practice, for fun of it, right? So you can bring in like a clock. It could be digital. It could be analog. I love the weather widget.
I love this.
You can have a live stream countdown or a countdown to an event. Maybe you're going to have a kickoff event. There is one for Spotify, but I'm going to be honest with you. It's a no-go. It does not work. And I've read that it doesn't work for anybody. That's kind of a bummer. Oh. I did find some things like white noise or other sound widgets you can bring in. So your best bet is probably not to use a music widget at this point. I know SoundCloud does seem to work if you want to go that route, but I don't find it to be all that useful. Here is my Google. So I brought in one of my calendars. You can't add in here, but you can at least see what's on your calendar if you want, and you can even bring up, for example, the date, the task or the calendar event if you want. So that might be useful for some people. A lot of people are into Pomodoro, for example. I tried out a couple of those. I found the one from Pomo Focus to be good. I'll show you how to do that if you want, and just a couple other ones. I do like the clicker. Sometimes you need a clicker to go, okay, how many times did I do that, or how many times did we talk about that in a session? That's kind of fun, and then a quote. So those were, I mean, there are other widgets, but those are just some primary ones that I used in the build of this, and I just wanted to give you some examples. So, all right. Let's go here and let's put a weather, okay? And maybe we can put it for your area. So how do you do a widget is the question, right? Widgets really just embedded things. So, when we go and copy a photo, we can embed, an image in here. We can embed a whole website. So it's just an embed. And you probably have heard that word before. Don't let that worry you, okay? I'll show you what that means in a second. So how do you create a widget? So let's just say we want to create a weather widget. So for me, I like to go, there's another Apption, or what do they call it? There's another company that's got some pretty good widgets. My only problem with them is I didn't find they all work. For example, the Spotify one does not work. Also, to really get useful out of them, you have to pay for some of them, and that's fine if you want to pay for them. I just didn't really want to, so I stuck with the Indify. So what you're going to do is go to Indify, and let's go down to the weather. Let's see.
Jay, hold on. Can we know again the name of this site where we can get free widgets?
Yeah, I realize now you can't see it. You can't see my tab. So let me do this. I'm going to bring this over like so.
Indify.
I just covered up myself. Hang on a second. There we go. It's called Indify right here. Indify.
All right, Indify. Thanks, Jay.
No problem. Yeah, it's a weird kind of word, and I just realized you can't see my tab. So at the top here, let me see if there's a little leaf. But yeah, it's Indify. So they didn't even put their name at the top.
Thank you.
Okay. And yeah, we can put that maybe in the chat if you want, somebody. All right, so here's the weather widget, and it just says create a weather widget. So we're going to hit create, and we're going to create a title for it. Let's just put Lala weather. Something like that. It's going to generate your new widgets. Very exciting.
Oh, cute.
So let's put, how would we put your weather? Is it just the Philippines, you think?
Yes.
Spell that right.
Manila?
Is it two L's?
No, it's 2 P's. There you go. It's 1 L and double PI.
Oh, I feel so. No, that ain't right. It says Netherlands. I must have misspelled this.
With an S. Yes.
But it says Netherlands right under here.
No.
That can't be right.
Wow.
That's kind of weird. Did I misspell it? Somebody help me out. PHILI.
Double PI.
Is it 2 P's? Okay.
Yes. INES.
Yeah, that's interesting. So they don't have it where I can. So
yeah, they
is
don't
it just
recognize Philippines? Maybe our overall location. Maybe I think they'd probably do Hong Kong. Maybe just the region.
Let's just do it for the heck of it. I'm wondering when you pull up locally if you'll get a different view.
Right, let's see.
But that is bizarre. But we're finding out everything's in. Okay, we're gonna go with this one just to see. So the weather in Hong Kong today is well, they're just showing an example here. I don't know if this is actually
just
there.
An example.
Oh, is it 8? Yeah. All right. So that's fine. You can choose the number of days. You can set this, to just 3 days if you want, and it will change. So it's really up to you how you want to lay this out. Obviously, a lot of people use Celsius. The U.S. is a little bit fussy yet, so I don't know what you guys use.
How about this one, Jay? Can we do Manila? Sometimes Manila is.
That's a good one.
Yes, probably they do Manila.
Manila.
Still, there, Manila, Metro Manila, Philippines. The fourth.
There we go. Yep.
All
Thank you,
right, thank
guys.
you, Marie. All right, so Marie suggested using Manila.
That was a
All
good
right, there you
suggestion.
go.
I appreciate that.
Great
Yeah, I wanted
suggestion,
something more
Marie.
official. So let's do it this way. I want to do the 5 like we had just for fun.
Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
5.
And, there's upgrades to unlock for certain things, but don't worry about that. And then you can decide
Okay.
you can hide today if you want. I'm going to leave it. Do you do
When you say
Celsius or
5,
Fahrenheit?
Jay, does that mean like 5 widgets we can get? Did you guys say what?
A number of days
Oh, number of days.
right here.
Sorry. All right.
Oh yeah. In the free one, I think there are five widgets for free that you can get. That's plenty for most people. I'll be honest with you. You start to run out of widgets after about 5 anyway. And then you can go to other places and get them or whatever. So don't worry about it. So you can change the color of the text. You can change the color of, let's see here, the background probably. You can't do that unless you probably have the paid version. So you could probably do it. You can set the widget background color. Let's just see what it looks like. Let's go to a really light color for the heck of it. Okay. We can do it like a color like that if you wanted. That's really up to you. It's really, whatever. Twist it however you want.
Exactly.
But at the
so
bottom
it's
left,
customizable, right? Yes.
yeah, you can customize it for the most part. Again, if you want to pay $1 a month to have all of this stuff, that's great. I don't, but some people might. And I'm only here to show you where things are at, what you can do as an example. So you can see at the bottom here, bottom left, where it says, hey, when you're ready and you like the widget look, just go ahead and click this embed copy code. So we're going to click that, and it's going to tell you it's copied to a clipboard. We're going to head back to our dashboard, kind of go where we want. We can always move it. Now, if you hit Control V for paste, I think it's Option V for all of you on the Macs. That's one way to do it. I think you could. I just realized you can do an embed with using the slash code and typing embed. And if you click on that, I use Control V on Windows for paste. I think it's Option V for Macs. You could do it that way, or you can just do the backs. Yeah. What is it?
Command V.
Command. Thank you.
Yes.
Command V. If you do it that way, it'll still be up just being embed, right? Mm-hmm. So if I go back here and I do Control V, I just realized I'm sitting up in that right there. I don't want to be there.
Oh, sorry. Where do I put you?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
All right.
So you want to, if you paste it, it's going to tell you to create embed. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what you're going to want to choose, and it will pull that widget in for you. Okay. Yay. And now, yeah, and you can see it. The size of your column will dictate how your widget comes out. Now they got grabbers. You can resize this widget. In my case, we're going to probably want to just bring the column out a little bit so we can get all 5 days in there. And if you want to shrink the height, you can shrink the height a little bit using these. Yeah.
So those grabbers will show up if you hover over the edges.
If you hover over that widget, you can use those grabbers. You can use that grabber at the bottom right. If you want to shrink it up, you can use the one at the right, and then of course the bottom. These come in really handy because when you're trying to get things level, it's kind of nice to do that. So, okay, that gives us. Do you use Fahrenheit or Celsius in the Philippines?
Celsius.
Okay, so we're good. So that gives us our widget. Now, that's the basics of all widgets. It's just an embed of a code. In fact, a lot of sites you could go to the very page and just copy the URL of the web page and embed that, and you're going to get a view of that page, and you could size around. And I can actually show you how to do that. So,
all right. So
really,
again,
widgets
Jay,
are
instead of paste, we have to embed. /embed.
No, paste is the same way though. Okay, right. So let me just show that real quick. Right. I'm going to delete that. There are 2 ways to embed. Mm-hmm. You can just Command V, or in my case Control V, and let's try it. I'll show you what that looks like. And when you Control V or Command V, you get these options. You can dismiss, create a bookmark, or embed. And we're going to want to create the embed. Okay. So that does it that way. The long way of doing that, I'm just going to leave this here because it's fine. And I want to create a space underneath it. Or you can just hit backslash, type in EMB for embed, and choose just embed that way. It's going to do the same thing. And you can paste in, whoops,
Oh,
and
yeah, this is the longer way.
it is a longer way, and I just unpasted my my link. So I'm going to go back and copy it. And then you can just, and then either way, you're pasting it. Okay. So, you might as well go ahead and just cut to the chase and just do Control V or Command V.
Jay, sorry, I kind of missed that. How did you add space in between? What was the command?
Yeah, that's a good question, right? So if you need a space or you need a new space, go to an item above. So let's just say, for example, I need a space here, an extra space. My item above, that plus sign right there, can you see it? It's underneath the 9 for us. You just click that and I'll give you a space. Okay?
All right, cool. Just plus.
And if you need more space, click another one.
And then
you should be able.
Don't want that space. You want to go back and make, just a little bit of a space. Go delete, or Command Z. Undo.
Oh, I want to undo that. Are you asking me? Are you talking to somebody in chat? Or are you asking me?
You. Sorry. Yes,
okay. So, what would you say about deleting?
Okay, so we added some space, right? And then we said, okay, I didn't want to do that. So I want to go back to just one space in between. So just command.
Yeah. If you don't want this space here, you can just click in it and probably backspace it out.
Backspace.
Yeah, backspace is probably your easiest bet in that case.
All right.
And that is, you have to kind of work through some of those. I agree. There's a lot of times there's 10 ways to do things in Notion. Mm-hmm. So I like to do the easiest thing. So to add a space down here, sometimes you can go after the widget and do it, but you can see it's really hard to do in this case. I just find going up here and hitting the plus sign will create a space right here. And if I don't want that in there, I'll just click in there and then just hit backspace out of there, and that's fine. We don't need 2 of these. So we click on the grabber right here, and we're going to hit delete. You could probably just hit the delete button as well from here, and that'll get you out of there.
All right.
Okay. Let's resize that up. All right. Does that make sense, or do we need to do it again? We good?
Absolutely.
I'll do some more, and then we'll be fine. All right. And let's see, what else should we add down here? Let me see, what do I have? Let's go to our dashboard that we're building. So you can see I've got, and when you load up, I've got a slider in here, for example. Let me show you how I did that in case you're interested. I don't know if people would be interested in this slider. You click here, we're going to click the little leaf button, go back to our widgets. So if you want to build a slider, just so you're aware, everything's the same way. Let's go. Here we go. It's called in my case, these are my widgets. Let me scroll down here. It's called Image Gallery. And you can just hit that and you can put a little Lala Gallery. Okay. And a page not found. That's a new one, of course. That's very interesting. Let's try that again and see if it's.
It doesn't want me to have my name in it.
That's kind of weird. I had this happen a couple times yesterday, so I think it's just
there you go.
some kind of weird thing with the server.
Again. Yes.
Right. So if you want, then you can. Let me see here. What do I got here? I got any fun stuff?
There's several images. Thank you so much to the Filipino community coming in. Janalyn Sarah, Simple Ka, Josebel Gation. Maraming salamat po. Andy Halper. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Andy. How you doing? Let's see if I can drag a photo in there, like something fun. See how it works. I haven't done the drag and drop, but let's see how it works. I got a little puppy in there.
That's great. Instead of actually uploading it, you can drag and drop. Awesome.
Yeah, so you click upload, you could just click on there. Let's see if I got any. I don't have any really fun photos. Oh, I've got one right here. See how this
like
works
you
out.
have it on your desktop or something, so just simply
a folder or a desktop or whatever you want to do. So I got this is from a while back. Just some fun photos.
Yes.
So put whatever you want. You could do custom stuff. I like to use cover size because it blows things up to the full width of the slider. And so you could do things like take the dots out if you don't want those dots at the bottom. You'll have to play with that stuff, but they're all kind of work the same way. When we're set, got to go to the bottom. We click copy. Okay. All works the same. And we're going to go back over here. And you see there's no way for me to click down here, right? Oh, I can't get down here. So we're just going to create a space underneath there like that. Okay. And then we're going to embed. So we're going to Command V or Control V.
Enter.
And we're going to choose create embed. It all works the same. So once you figure out one, they're all going to work the same. And now we got a cute little slider in there of this goof. And again, we can resize this out a little bit how you want. You could probably shrink it up a little bit if you want. I've not used the slider for anything. I didn't even know they had it. I just thought it was kind of interesting. Maybe you have some photos of your kids that you want to put on there or something like that. And you can have it auto rotate so you don't have to even manually do it. That's kind of fun. It could be something for a stream. So that kind of gives us our left column. I think we're good there. And now we're going to get to the meat of it. If you're ready to, we're going to go ahead and get to our hub. I think that would be a good place to go. And again, I'm in my second column. I'm trying to click in there and I'm like, oh, I can't click it. It's not building anything. Go to the item above, click the plus sign, and it will create a space for you to put your cursor in. Okay. And once you figure that out, you won't be so frustrated and want to yell like I did when I first started with Notion. So, okay.
All right.
Let's do this. The hub. What am I talking about? Let's look at what I had built, because this is really, I think, the cool part of this for some. Oh, I always do that. I apologize. The app is a little different. I'm going to maximize this. What is a hub? For you that might be walking in, for me, first of all, this is really just a table, a simple table. Okay, that's all this is. I'm going to show you I'm going to create a hub, another hub, and I'm going to show you how you can do that. And then you turn it into a gallery so you can have these photos. Okay. Yeah, let's try this out. This gets to be a little bit more of a thing, but I want to show you how you do this because I think this is critical. These widgets over here are very simple. We'll finish up with those. Unless you think we should finish with the widgets first, maybe, and then we'll come to this hub and finish that up because we're already in the widgets.
I have a question right now, Jay.
Yeah.
Okay, in this gallery view that you have, it seems that there are actually, is that considered 3 columns of like images over there? Or it's just really one column?
Okay, so this is one column. Yes, it's one column. So this table I've dropped in here is just under my hub, and you can see that line that's underneath there, that blue line. It's one column, but it's a great question. It's responsive like a website. If I shrink this column, it's going to shrink the number of hub columns. If I really shrink it, it's going to go to 1 eventually. See? So it's nice because it's responsive for you. And so I kind of spread it out till I had about 3. I like that for me in small mode. But yeah. And so this hub is just, I call it areas of your life. And this is something, again, with the Build a Second Brain, we talk about using areas and projects of your life. And that's probably a discussion we should have someday to make this easy. They call it the PARA method: projects, areas, resources, and archiving. That's all you need for managing your email, your folder structures, your areas of your life. That's all you need to manage everything really simple. And it works out really well. And I'd love to have that discussion someday for all you people who are feeling.
Have that finished soon so we can have you back for that.
We'll come back for it. You could create another thing called, build your second brain as a crafter, and that can be kind of an offshoot of that. But absolutely. So to answer your question, it's one column, but you have the power to make that as many columns as you want by dragging the column that it's in. So if you're asking yourself, how do you do this? How do you build a hub like this? Let's talk about that. It's very simple, actually. The first thing you want to do, now you can build a table a lot of different ways in Notion. You can go to the sidebar here and just create a new page at the bottom and do it that way, but you don't need to do that. If you want to create a hub from scratch, I call it the hub, your areas of your life, you just hit the backslash key, and you're going to type in table. Okay.
Right.
I wish they would default to the database table, but they default to this basic blocks. You don't want that. You're going to want the database table. Okay. And that's almost always the case, but for whatever reason, they do it that way. You could type in probably database, I think, although I can't remember now. Probably so.
Oh, there.
Yeah, you could get inline, full. I find this confusing for people, though. Let's just type in table. So backslash table, okay? And choose the table view for the database, okay? And it's going to ask you to select a data source that you already have. We're going to pretend like we don't have this, okay? I know there's a hub, I see it, but let's just create a hub, Lala hub, okay? So we're going to create a new database down there. Just select that, and there you go. And it comes up the same way every time, untitled and all this stuff. We're going to call this the Lala Crafty Hub, or Lala Hub. Let's just do the Lala Hub, okay? And what do we do now? We just start typing in. So what are the areas of your life, right? Well, we know, like, let's just put like, I'm trying to think of some things that you might have. Let's just book club. I'm just going to put some things in there. Maybe that daily journal. What's another one? Recipes. I don't know. But, you know, you might have some things for your personal life, like travel. Let's do another one. Maybe it's finance related, right? The home finance stuff or work finance. It doesn't really matter. Let's see. What's another one? One more I might do. Oh, I know. You have suppliers. Maybe you have a supply list or suppliers that you want to keep track of for your crafts. Okay, I'm just going to throw that out there. You don't need this tag list. If you want to delete, you don't have to delete this at all. If you want to delete a column that they put in there, just click on the title and delete property and hit delete. That's how you do that. So now you're set. That's all you have to do. And you can always add new ones later. You can delete ones. You can change names. You're not locked into anything here. All right. These are just major areas of your life. And people often ask, what is the difference between areas and projects? Well, projects have a deadline. Projects have a due date. They will finish. Okay. For example, I have a Lala live stream today. That is a project I got ready for. Or if I'm going to create a YouTube video, it's the deadline. Or if I'm going to travel to Italy, that is a project that is under the area of my life travel. So these are areas that have no end date. They are just an area of your life that are ever ongoing, if that makes any kind of sense. They can be personal. They can be work related. They could be team related. It doesn't really matter. They're just areas, okay? I'm just throwing that out there. So that's all you have to do. And then what you're going to do is you can create a new view, Lala, add view, and you're going to choose this gallery view right here. That's all you got to do. And it's going to turn them into a gallery, and then you have options, okay? You can show the database title or hide it. You can see how it hides that. I like to hide it. And then you have the card preview. I always choose cover. That's the photo. And we don't have photos yet, so there's no not going to pop up. And I always choose small for the card size, okay? And that's really it. Those are the things I do. I hide the title. I choose page cover under card preview. I like the small card size. That's for me. You can have it however you want. You can always change it later, okay? And then we hit done. And so you're going to say to yourself, well, that doesn't look at all. That doesn't look at all like what you had. You're right. And now you can drag these, by the way, in different orders, which is kind of fun if you need to do it. So let's just say you wanted to put a finance cover. There's no cover page. You can add a cover. like we always do, and you can change that cover. I always go to Upsplash, and maybe I'll just type in finance, or I'll
So
upload my own
Upsplash
picture.
is a free source of images,
These
right?
are free. These are absolutely free. And you can choose, like, I don't know, let's just choose these coins. They're kind of fun. And now you got a cover. And what you'll see is, shows up. So now you got a nice picture. And if you want to add something like an icon, I always find that fun. We'll put like, I don't know, a coin or something like that. Dollar bag. Finance. Okay, so we've got that. And you can see it puts a little bitty icon down there. It just depends on what you want to do. You don't have to like make it like this. I like to do it. I like the visuals. And so you could go through all of these and do that. You could put all these photos on. Okay, we don't have to go through that and spend that time. I'll do one more. I'll do one for travel. Okay, so again, hover over travel, hit add cover. It always brings up some default. Hit change cover. I like to go to Upsplash, and I mean, there's a bridge. That's kind of pretty, but we could put travel in. And you know, let's put some mountains in there. I don't know. That's fine. Whatever suits you. And you can reposition this as well. You can drag and put it how you want. We're going to add an icon, and we'll, that's fine. We'll leave it like that. We go back, and you can see that's all it is. And then we can drag that up, reposition these, and you can build out these areas of your life. And what that means is, if I go into finance and I open that up, I can make this page however I want. I can put in databases to track my finances. I can put in links. I can put in widgets. I can do whatever I want. If I want to make this page full size like the other ones, I can do that, right? Each one of them is you can make each page how you want it. Okay, you can customize it however you want that page. So you could track all your finances in here. And so when you come to your dashboard in the morning, you're like, I need to go into my finances and add in something that was related to my purchase for the craft stuff. Or maybe I want to start a project in travel. We're going to go to the Philippines. Okay. So we're going to add in a travel to the Philippines. So does that hub make sense to you, Lala, what I did and what the purpose of it is?
Yes, this is so awesome because most of the time, as Jay is telling us, there's so many facets of our life. Like in my case, I'm a mom, but I'm also a working mom. So I have businesses. I'm also homeschooling, and I'm also a content creator. So sometimes we have, different planners, different ways of tracking all of these activities. But the way that Jay's actually showing us how to do this is to incorporate everything into one single dashboard where you can see everything in an instant. But at the same time, if you want to go into the details, just click onto each of them, and then it will pop up and show up. So right, so especially with someone like me who has like the memory of a fish, right? And I
That's
forget.
the point. Your brain is not
awesome.
Your brain is not meant to store all of that information. You need to offload that into your second brain. So in a way, what we're starting to do in this way is to create a bit of a second brain that these tables, if you put back my screen share, I want to show the one I kind of finished to kind of hammer home your point a little bit that, for you, for example, you're a content creator. You can actually create a separate content creator page, but we have a Crafty Planner, for example, which kind of does that. So that's a whole area for you, right? So when you open that up, you have the power now of going in and adding new ideas, which I have over here. Now, by the way, we'll get into this, but I've created a calendar view of my projects that we're working on, and we'll talk about this, but you see these ideas on the left? Now I can take these ideas and I can drag them onto a date and make them into a project. And no longer an idea, they are now a project with the date built into it. So when I look, it took that date, and I can start creating that page for that project by doing that. And if I want to drag it back into an idea because I'm not ready, it goes back and drags into an idea. So I think this would be a great new planner that I'm going to try to create. You already have the idea. I can just show you how we did it, and we'll do that another time if you want.
Yes,
but
yes,
I'm going to use this for all of these. I think drag and drop is really a great way to go for creatives. And for people who don't want to use these tables all the time, the tables are life and they do have a purpose, but sometimes it's just nicer to have the visual to get in and out of things. So yeah, you're right. If I want to create a new area, let's just say for school, I don't know, kids schooling, I don't know. I'm just going to throw one up there, okay? And status of that right now, there's no status of that right now. So we're just going to create that. We just create a new area. We have one for kids schooling. And I just open that up. I can go in there and add a cover, let's go ahead and put a school thing up here real quick, just to show you how quick it is to add in, some kids schooling stuff like that, whatever. And now we have kids schooling. You have a whole page, a whole area for that if you wanted to. And this page now, you can make this huge, right? You can put a kids planner. You can put records of what they did, of their grades, of what they learned a certain day, or plan out projects for kids schooling. I don't know. Put a calendar up there for things they have up and coming. So there are a lot of things you can do to manage your life from this overall dashboard and this hub. So I hope that makes sense. I don't want to confuse you. The whole point of this is to try to make your life a little bit more manageable by creating a main operating system menu, which is what this becomes. Okay. Okay. Are we good? Should we continue
to? All right. So there are several questions, Jay. Okay. So let's start with one from Nazy. I'm not sure if. Okay, hold on. I'll put it up there. I'm not sure if you talked about it already, but can I integrate it to a social media page, or if I have an app, can I open it on a web version, or are they two different things? Several questions up there.
Let's go back to the first question, because it sounds like it's two questions. I'm not exactly sure. So the first question was about social media. Are you saying share the page to a social media like Facebook, or are you talking about bringing Facebook into Notion? What did you glean from that question?
I think probably both ways. Let's say if they want to come up with, for example, they want to post something for Facebook, so they put it up on their Notion as something that's supposed to be uploaded, and then can it get uploaded from their Notion going to, let's say, IGFB? Is that a possible thing for Notion at this point?
Yes and no. I mean, there's nothing within Notion. You could probably create something with like Zapier that takes a lot of things and builds processes. I'd have to look into that. It's a great question, and I want that question to work on I would like to take some questions that we can't answer maybe now, and maybe sometime come back and answer those questions in an actual stream to say, okay, here's some great questions. I would say this: the best way to save or to have a viewing page, though. So, for example, let's take for example the Crafty Planner. Okay, and let's say you want to share that. You want people to go to this page, or maybe your page you created is an informational page about an up and coming event that you want to make available for people. Okay, it doesn't matter what it is. You can share the page publicly. Because what I would do is at the top right of any page, and you may have to move me again. No, don't move me. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. It's just, you need to move me down to the bottom left.
All right, go back here. All right, there you go.
On any page that you want to share on, like, say, Facebook or Twitter, it doesn't really matter. At the top right of every page is a share button. And when you click that share button, you're going to have the ability. We talked about this in one of the live streams I did with you was all about sharing.
Yes.
And so if you need a little bit more information on sharing, go hunt that out if you want. But you just got to click the share to web. Okay. And there's a link button right here. Okay. And you just hit copy. And now you can paste that in your post in Twitter and Facebook. Instagram is weird about external links, so I don't know that you're going to be able to do that unless you fiddle around a little bit with it. It's a little bit weird, but with any other type of posting, you'll have no problem. It's a link. to, and it just creates a web page that now somebody can go to. My only thing is, if you're going to do that, leave these unchecked and
can't edit.
probably uncheck that. Just,
Yes.
okay,
So
don't
they
allow
can't
duplicate.
duplicate. All right,
Okay.
Got it. Got it.
And then all you have to do is go to your post. And I don't know, do I have Facebook up? Let me see. You can see my inner workings of my Facebook page here. Not logged in on this particular browser, so you won't. So let me go here. Go here. Let me see if I'm logged in.
So while Jeff is
I'm not.
looking onto that, Marie is saying Notion and Discord are our club's lifeline. We don't know what we're gonna do without it. Again, they learned from watching you, Jay,
Oh,
on
I
our
appreciate that.
show. Yes,
Let
both
me
of
see if I
us,
can
we learned the
drag.
same way.
Let me see if I can drag this over. I apologize. We're getting
the
infinite
infinity
warfare here.
effect.
So let me. There we go. Facebook. I can't log in from. I'm not logged in from here. I don't have
Hi,
my
Maria,
information on this
Angelica
one.
Ganyo, mega love shout out.
So all you're going to do is take this. You're going to. Let's go back to our page. I'm in the wrong page. We go back to the app, and again, let me see. I'm lost. I want to see what I'm doing here. I've lost our. Where is our feed? I've lost you. So I'm still on, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
We're on the
I've
crafty
lost.
planner still.
I know what happened. I lost. I went and.
So some crafters are like, Jay's voice sounds really familiar, and then eventually they said, "Oh, sounds like one of the crafters that we love so much."
Oh, I appreciate that. I gotta find my. For whatever reason, I can't find our stream.
So basically, what
Let me just-
Jay
let me-
is
let
trying
me
to
tool around
do,
here.
to do here is to show Nazy about her question of how she can actually use Notion to share some of the stuff that she has there onto her social media page.
There we go. There we go. I apologize, everybody. It's a user error, but we're going to get through it. So, okay. All right. So again, let's just talk about it. On any page you want to share out or post out, hit share.
Yes.
Now, again, this is going to be public. So if you're going to do this, just remember anybody can see it that has a link. However, no one's going to really find this by accident. Okay, so that these links are pretty. Look at this link. I mean, it's pretty goofy. But let's copy it, and I've got it shared. Now, if I go to, I'm going to go to my a new web browser, and I'm going to paste this in. You can see it. Let's go there. I should be able to pull that page up that I just shared. Yep. So this is the page I just shared. So if this was posted in YouTube, this page will, just like any other web page, it will come up. So I don't know if that answers that question. That's the way to do it. And then if you want, when you're done with that, just so you know, you can go back and I can unshare that to web. And then we're back to square one.
Okay.
There we
So
go.
I hope
that
answers
that question.
that one. All right. Actually, for me, the way I do it, Jay, is I actually have something very similar to what, like a crafty planner. But for me, it's more or less the things that I actually require from my guests and for a specific show. So, and then I share like what Jay did, right? Share to web. But instead of share to web, I just share to specific email.
Yes.
All right. And
right.
I click on edit because this is my guest. So if they want to change some of the things in there, like maybe they don't want the title that I am planning to put
Guests
in,
can be
so they can
hard.
edit that, right? So I have made a Notion file for my my run of show, and I only give access to the people I want to have access to. So basically just my guests, not the whole web, again, because that's for my guests. Okay, so like for Marie of Marie Vicente of Craft Create and Swap Club, they have one Notion for their admin, right? So again, it's very customizable. So it's up to you how you are going to do it. But how to actually do that, we just learned from, how Jay taught us. For if you want, you can rewatch on replay the two previous episodes that we had with Jay. It's
We went
very, very detailed, guys.
very detailed because,
Yes.
to your point, you don't always want to share things publicly anyway, and so you can share directly to people through the email. The difference there is generally they have to have Notion themselves. Now that's a free account, but that puts the onus on them to get Notion. But it's fine. I mean, I have a lot of accounts that things I have to work okay with people like Trello and things like that, or even Google. So you're right, and you want to be very careful with that on certain information. But the share with the link would be something you can do publicly, and you can lock it down and then take it out. So yeah,
right.
we went into great detail on that.
Okay.
Okay.
And another question, Jay, is
Yeah, sure.
when you added all those widgets. All right, and then you have all of those widgets that now your dashboard looks like an awesome website, right?
Right, exactly.
Yes, and we're supposed to be using just the free version of Notion. So when you put on all of those widgets and customize it, that's just like what you did. Will it still remain a free Notion page? Or
Yeah,
do I
Notion
need to
doesn't
be-
Notion doesn't care about your widget use. So it's just an embed like any other, like a photo, like a video, or an embedded website. Notion themselves do not care how you use your widget. The widget company that you go to or use, now Indify, I just use everything that's free. I didn't pay for any of that stuff. And I think it's fine. If you need more control, then of course you always, how it goes. It's like, oh, if you want to be able to do this, pay $2 a month. Fine. Some people may need that or want that. But for people who just want general things, go to Indify there's some other companies out there, and there are some web pages you can just copy and paste the web page in there. So I'll give you an example. Actually, if you that's a great thing we should talk about here. There's one of these, a couple of these were actually web pages. So I'm just going to go into my demo because I created a demo area of the widgets just to show you what it is, and I'll show you how I did it. Go down. I think I didn't care for this particular, a lot of people use Pomodoro. I didn't care for this one right here. Just didn't feel like it has a lot of things. It's not bad. You may not agree with me. That's cool. I use what's called the Pomo Focus one. And you can see when I hit start, it'll start the countdown. I can use short breaks. It has a short break, and you can set how long these are. And it saves into your account, and you can put task in. You can do it's all free. There's a paid version of this as well. I'm going to show you, but this is its own web page called Pomo Focus. In fact, I'm going to click and copy that. Let's see. I'm just going to click that link. This is a embedded. Let's see if it takes me where I want to go. Okay, allow. So this web page, which is pomofocus.io. We should get all these links to you. You can see this is all it is. You can log in if you wanted. I don't even think I created a thing, or maybe I did create a page, but you don't have to. You can probably just click this and copy it out. You can't see it. I just realized it. I just copied the URL because I see my URL is not part of my, let me scoot this down a little bit so you can see maybe. So it's Pomo Focus up here at the top in the address. I just copied that. Okay, we just copy that link. Okay. And if we go back, I'm just going to do this quick, just to kind of proof of concept. Control V, Command V, whatever. Embed. It's going to be down here. And you can see it just puts it right in there for you.
The way you have this arranged, Jay, it doesn't look like there's really like a column. Because the one's
right
bigger,
now,
one's smaller.
Yeah, that's a great point. And sometimes you don't want it to look like a column, like a good website doesn't. So, for example, these are 2 columns.
So you
In
can
this
just
is a
drag
demo
that.
area. And because these are different sizes, and if you want these to be the same size, you can make these widgets the same size by dragging up, and you can also make them wider.
So even though it's on default onto just 2 columns, you can actually put like 3 widgets onto it.
Absolutely. No, these are not defaulted to 2 columns. This is 2 columns here. You can have mix and match. If I didn't make that clear. So if I wanted 2 columns here, I can have 2 columns. This is 3 columns. If I want 4 columns, I can actually do that too. So let's just say we drag this.
It's a per line thing. So it's not like the whole column, like if you have on a regular, let's say, Excel
I'm so glad you brought that up. Yeah, think of each column. Think of each of these as a section. One block can be as many columns, could be 1, 10. We have another section underneath there, could be 5, 3, 2, 1 columns, right? So you can mix and match however you want as you go. And now the question is, how do you do that? Because let's just say, for example, let me take this. I'm going to use this as an example. I'm going to put it up here. Now it's going to create, this is 4 columns. How do I know? Because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 separate items here. I got 3 items here. I got 2, so that's 2 columns. And that's 4 columns, right? So how do I take this and put it in a new column that's 1 column? And it's not hard, but it frustrated me at first till I figured it out. I'm going to grab it, okay? And I'm going to drag it and see that big line all the way across the page? I know I'm in a new section, 1 column. And that's why it's all alone right now. Now this widget won't, I can stretch it all the way out because it's 1 column. Now,
how cool is that?
Yeah. Now, if I want to take this one, let's see here, and I want to drag it next to it, that can be its own column like this. Or, of course, I can drag it to the right of this one where it turns blue. And now we're going to make it 2 columns. Now you can see that column is odd, right? Because it's really tiny.
Too much space
and I don't even know. I can make it bigger. I can bring it closer even. Or I can move it over here and I can drag this one all the way across. It's like painting. It's like a responsive website in a way. And so you can make these any way you wanted. So I'm glad you brought that up because I would have been remiss if I hadn't brought that up. So you can make them look how you want. So there you go. Did I answer the question?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Jay. I actually thought that, it's like Excel file thing where once you put this column here, everything that you put in there is like together. So that's super great. So it's really just like a website where you have sections,
yes,
right? That you can actually customize, right? All right.
And and when you look at this, you look at this and you go, and that's what's so beautiful about this. You've got that hub that's kind of going all the way down the middle. It's one thing, but then you have these others. So your eyeballs are kind of fooled into thinking this layout is a multiple things. And really all this is 3 columns. And what's funny is if I take this planner now and I put it all the way up here, let's see here, if I can get in the middle of this, it's going to create that 4th column if I wanted to, right? I don't want to do that. And I can hit Control Z and I can undo that or drag it back. But yeah, you could have 4 columns up there. Now, at the bottom here, you can see that dividing tag when I hover over. That tells me I'm still on my columns, right? But again, if I want to drag this into its own, I want it to be big, I drag it till I get to the big blue line all the way across and I let go. And now it's going to be nice and big. And I can actually take this now and make it huge. You don't want that because it's me.
You have to play with it, guys, right? And see. Oh, there goes your slider. Huge one, right?
So I hope that answers the question and that makes sense. But
exactly. And on that note as well, all right? So the next question would be, all right, so you said that you can add like sections, right? One after the other.
Yes.
Will it like, how long or, at what length will it like stop you from creating any more sections?
I've not tested the depth of a page yet, but I will tell you it's pretty much going to be infinite. It will just keep building and building and building. The question becomes,
best practice.
Is that useful for you or not? And that's another subject where possibly what happens in that case where you're like, oh, my page, I want more things, but my page is getting too long. I'll give you an example. You can even copy this. So if I click on this planner title and I just duplicate it, I've got 2 of them. I probably did that without you guys seeing that. I just realized that because I wasn't in there. I'm going to go back and delete it. So you can, there you go. So you can also duplicate. So I can click that and hit duplicate. I've got two of these. And maybe what I decide to do, I'm going to show you, I'm going to drag that down here. And this is going to be called, I'm going to put this like sources. It doesn't really matter. Like it could be just information, right? That I want to link to. And then what you can do is link out to other pages, right? So you can hit link and you can link to a page. And maybe it's another page inside your planner. If you don't know what it is, you can search for it. So let's just put hub. I'm going to put hub. I don't know why. Let's see here.
So
Let's go to our daily
link
journal.
to your own files in Notion.
You can link it. So what's nice about this, you're creating a website link menu here, right? And I can put one more just to hammer it home. We create a space, we hit backslash, we're going to link to a page, and I messed up. There we go, link, and it says link to page. And it gives you some ideas, probably ones you've used or main ones, but there's a search for page up there. I'm trying to think of one I could use here. Let's use one that's we already have in here, like recipes or something like that. No, we're going to link even to your Crafty Planner. So let's go to Crafty Planner. Now we can get there from our hub, but you can see now I can get there from that link. So you can navigate your whole Notion world by creating inside here your hub, your overall planner dashboard. You can create menu system, daily journal, go to my daily journal and type some notes really quick. If I don't want to put that in my hub or whatever, you can even create an external link. But yeah, you can link to any page inside your Notion,
Exactly.
right? So if you don't want to keep going down and down and down and down and down, you can start to create sub pages here too. So one more thing I'll show you. I think I'm going to see if I can do this. Sorry, let me do this. See if the page. So I can embed a sub page. And so you can create, and it creates a whole new page. And let's go create resources for crafting. Doesn't really matter.
So it's basically just up to you. Make sure that you still remember what you have put in there, right?
Say that again.
I said, it can go as deep as you want it to go, right? So
yes, but you can create these sub pages inside, and you can see at the top left. You can't see it because the thing. I'm going to drag this down.
Oh, there you go.
In Notion, it's like a website. It creates breadcrumbs to let you know where you are. Okay. So if I go back to our dashboard and I click resources, that resources for, you can see it's showing me, okay, you can go back, just click back like if you want. Yeah. So
that's why it's really like super
it's
nice.
like a website.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and everything it's like in a single look, right? View, you can find it there. Okay, another one, Jay, is there if you have like, let's say, Google Calendar, or if you have like, in my case, Calendly, for some of my meetings and guestings and other stuff, is it possible to actually put my Calendly onto that dashboard?
Yes, I think. I mean, you can that's well, you know what? I have Calendly. There's ways to connect Notion to Calendly, so it just depends on what you want to do. That's generally going to take that Zapier, which is kind of, if you don't know Zapier, it's a little app that's a bridge between a lot of disconnected apps. And it allows you to take them and put like a Lego system, put them together for a big flow, a complicated flow.
So maybe what I can do is just to get the stuff from my Calendly and put it in the calendar that I actually.
What would you? Good question. So, are you talking about taking Calendly, put it in Notion? So you're only in Notion, and you can create stuff in Calendly in Notion.
Yes, because at this point, what I do is I send out my Calendly to my different, for example, whether it's for business or for my content creation, And of course, I
Okay.
put there the dates and the times where I am available. And if they find something there that fits with their schedule, and then they click on that one, and then I see it, right? And in my Calendly, let's say I have one for my center, one for my stream, one for my crafting. So, and then Calendly gives me like a collated calendar where everything
Okay.
is there. So I want that one that's collated already, so that I know that I don't, it doesn't overlap. Because before I went into this, sometimes I would forget, like,
Hmm.
oh, I actually have a schedule or a meeting with this, but I forgot because I only remembered that, with this person, and then it got changed, and then in my mind it was still the old schedule. But with Calendly, I see everything in an instant.
Yes.
So I just want that part where it's the consolidated one to be placed in my Notion, like dashboard. Is that possible? Not yet. That is fine.
There are ways to embed. I see for things like WordPress and Wix. And you know what?
Oh, it's
I
really
don't
right.
have a great answer, but I kind of want to try something.
Mhm.
If we want to try something in real time. And let me bring you back here. I'm up. I'm going to go into my it's a development area.
Mhm.
And let's just go to the bottom of this sucker.
Guys, if you
I wanna
have
try
questions,
something.
please do so. Okay, we're almost at the end of our stream with Jay tonight. So
Yep.
don't be
Shoot
shy.
those
Just
questions.
put in your questions. Put a Q before each question, please. All right, there you go.
Yeah, you go. So I'm going to go to the bottom here, and here we go. I see I've got to add a little section here myself. And I'm going to do something. I'm going to try this. This is going to be, I don't know. I'm doing it on a whim because I don't know that this will work. So you can see what happens. I'm trying to embed my calendar, and you can see. So this is my 15-minute calendar. It doesn't look like you can navigate. You can pull up some things. Well,
Oh, that one looks like Calendly, actually.
it is Calendly.
Oh,
So
all right. So no wonder.
I think, depending on what you do, it looks like you can. I'm just trying. I looked at their website. They didn't give me any information on doing it with Notion. But I have a calendar right here. So I have a couple calendars, like a 15-minute calendar. Do you have like just one calendar? You have a couple calendars?
I have different for the different
Yes.
sections
Okay.
that I added, like for my live streaming, for my businesses,
Okay.
for my kids.
just-
But then
just-
there's one that it would show you if you click on it. I forgot what does it. Hold on, I'll check it out. What's that prompt where it will show me the combination for all the different calendars that I have. I think it's called. Trying to. My internet is very slow, but it's almost there. Okay. Ma'am Tina Man Kenobi, hi from Jason. Okay, it says the scheduled events. So if you click the scheduled events on top, so it will
Yep.
give you like a
Ah.
daily, and then it will show you. It will come from the different calendars that you have. But at least you know,
Yeah.
right? So it will.
Right.
Yes.
So you've got a date range. I don't have any events on here at the moment. I can see some problems with the way this would work with embedding, but I think I want to play with this because I know you can embed into, you can embed your calendars so somebody can schedule. I don't know that you can embed the schedule events thing. You want to be able to look that up, right? And
All right.
see.
Okay.
Do you-
maybe we can
are you
discuss
also-
that? Yes. Yes, Jay.
Are you also wanting to create within that as well? Because
So it's like I'm every time I update my Calendly, since it's gonna be somehow, the link will be there. So every time I change or make changes or add-ons onto that Calendly, I will see it like the calendar. There will be bullets there. Okay, on the 23rd I have something, and then when I see bullets, I can click on that, and it will show like what you did a while ago. Your Calendly would show like, oh, I have a schedule at 11, and I have another schedule at 1, and so on and so forth. So
right. I think there might be a way to do it. It may not be. I think there is a way maybe to do that. I'll play with that for you. Might have to fudge it
Sorry,
a little
Jay.
bit.
I was like,
I think
just,
Do you also have, is your Calendly connected to your Google a calendar?
Yes, yes. It does
So
connect.
would it be helpful to bring in your Google Calendar that has those dates in it so you can look at your calendar? So for example, this is my Drum Up calendar studio. Now I don't have my Calendly, I don't have any events, but it would bring in a Calendly event and I would be able to see that on these days, right? And I'd be able to kind of just go to whatever month I want to go to. And if it's a Calendly, I can click it and look at it. I don't know if that's useful for you, but that's another way of doing it
So
is to
instead of
create
Calendly, just the Google Calendar.
yeah. So you could see all of your events that are scheduled on top of each other. Or if you wanted just a Calendly, you probably could just create a Calendly Google Calendar in your Google, and it would only bring in your Calendly events, and then bring in that specific calendar as a widget. So that's one way of doing it. If you just want to be able to see what you have scheduled on your Calendly, and then you can click the event and take a look at the details. Does that sound like it would solve that issue
Yes.
or no?
Yes, absolutely. Now it's clear. Okay, so I just have to check first and play with that. Okay, I'll try to do that, attaching it to my Google Calendar first, right? And then also I'll try if I can, attach Calendly somehow. I didn't actually know
Well,
how.
I'm going to play with that. It's a good, because I do have Calendly. I would like to know. That's a really good question. If nothing else, to be able to see. But I think in the worst case scenario, it would be nice to have Calendly, when you create those events, have those events go to a Google Calendar that you could bring in, either an overall one so
easier,
you can
right?
see if they're butting up against other appointments, or if you want to be able to just see it on your own, that can be done. You can just create a Calendly Google Calendar specific, and then bring that calendar into your dashboard. And I'd be happy to help you do that, because I'd be interested in that. And I've already kind of done that in a way, because you saw that under my, that's exactly what I did, right?
saw that.
And that's not very hard, because again, you're only going to, if you go to, here it is. Let me bonk this down. If you go to
Guys, if you
Indify,
have questions, all right. So last few minutes here. All right.
okay. If you go to Indify, there's a calendar widget, and you just click on that, and it's going to have you sign in with the Google account you want, and then choose which of the calendars. And I have a bunch of calendars in there. You can choose which calendar. So let's say it's Calendly. You would choose that Calendly, click the copy button, and then embed it into your dashboard, and you'd be good to go. So
Yeah, I think that would be it. We'll try that. We'll try. All right.
That's one way to
But
go.
The thing
Anyway,
is, we have like
So,
several
yeah.
calendars within Calendly, so I'm not sure if how we're. Okay, sorry. How we're gonna show
Well,
that.
you should be able to put all those different calendars into the same Google account, so they should all show up, right? So if I have a personal and a business Calendly, I should be able to have those all go
into one.
attached to that particular calendar, and bring those in, and then I can just bring in that calendar. You could also separate them to their own calendar, so you can do whatever you want, but probably be better just to have them under one calendar, and you can see them all together.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much for me. I think that's it for the questions. So are we done
Okay.
with? Are there some other things you want to show us from?
I mean, we don't really need to go in. I had other widgets in here. I could add one more widget so you can see
right.
if you really want. It's not really that important. I mean, the widgets are all being created by Indify. I think I had one in here that you liked, which was a countdown. So if we did a
Yes.
countdown one, that's kind of cool. I did one I liked where I'll go back to that, but the countdown. So let's say Lala countdown. It doesn't matter what you name it. It's a small widget. It's really not that hard. You can do some things like, so for example, the event title is stream. We got a live stream coming up, right? And then you choose a date and time. So we're going to choose, July 2nd at whatever time. Doesn't really matter. And so it already knows the countdown, which is kind of cool. And if you can choose to remove like days and all that stuff.
And then
I want to
can you
leave
add
everything
an
on
image
there.
into that, so that
Huh?
let's say the thumbnail of the stream for that one. No. Just a countdown.
No, I
image.
mean, yeah, it won't give you you could do that though. For example, what I would do, that's a great question. You can do a color, by the way, which is probably advisable because it's not very pretty. Let's just put a color of any kind for now. Let's copy it. Let's go back to our dashboard, and we've got a space already under here, so we can hit Control V, Command V. We embed. It's going to come up. We're probably going to have to size it. You can see, it's fine. We can size it up. But if you wanted to put the thumbnail picture, keep in mind that might be a good idea. Create a space in here, right? And let's see. Actually, I can just drag one.
So
over.
let's say you have a week. In the week, you have like 3 streams coming up, right? So it's like you can put like stream 1, stream 2, and then there's a countdown for each one of them.
Let's just say this is a thumbnail. You could put the thumbnail there, right? And then
so you
could
just put it on
you
top.
could put that underneath there. There might be ways to associate that and build them out.
But this one's okay. It looks great.
Yeah. So again, these widgets are really, really easy to do. Once you do one, you've done them all almost. But at some point, the tough thing with dashboards is they can be so distracting because there's a lot of fun to do. Hey, thank you, Fine Art. I'm glad you stopped in, and it was great to meet you. And I hope you learned something today from all this googly gawk in my head. Have a wonderful night, I guess, or day. Yeah, so these dashboards can be a lot of fun. So you end up playing more than you do work sometimes, but that's okay. We're artistic people. We need to have it the way we want it. So there you go. And if you want, I can always share that dashboard to you to share out to your
Jay, if you can,
so they can see it. Yeah, I'll do that. So they can see the final, because the final product's not here. The final product, we'll show you one more time, or I call the final product. This is what we built in there. If you want to be able to see that, I'm happy to.
Please, Jay, if we can have like a link to that one, so
I'll do that for you.
See it, and then as we, the way we learn is we first use how we learned Notion with you is you gave us all the elements, so to speak, and then we started with just doing working with those. And then once we got the know-how, then that's how we actually eventually customize. First, you need to know how to do it, right? So thank you, Jay, in advance. Okay, for the link and for for those. Okay, we just want to say hi for those who are coming in quite late but are here. Hi, Jason. Hi Simply Mate. Thank you so much. And of course, Fine Art of Distraction. Nathan needs to leave because it's pretty late for him really right now. All right. Okay, there you go. Yes. Okay, Jay. So please, before we actually say goodbye tonight, okay, and morning to you actually, maybe you want to invite them over for what's coming. All right, and if they need to, get in touch with you, they want to know more about Notion and
absolutely.
About,
so my channel is J.A. Smith, just like you see it, J.A. Smith over at YouTube. So YouTube/J.A. Smith. Come over if you don't have to subscribe, but if you want to, that's great. We're getting ready to put out some more videos, and we're going to start gearing it into obviously Notion, Realm Research, but productivity mindsets for creatives. And in my about, there is a email. Feel free to write anytime you want. Go ahead and direct message me there. I'm happy to do it. Probably can find me in places like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, but just go ahead and use my email. I'm happy to answer any questions, not a problem. And I've got some wonderful ideas, I think, to, like you said, you need to learn how to use Notion, get kind of comfortable with it, and then start building ideas. But it's hard to build ideas till you understand the power of it, till you understand how it works. But I think we're getting into that point where I think creating an overall Notion universe dashboard or menuing system for your life is a good time. And I think we should build out on this. And I've got some really wonderful ideas, not only to build, I think we need to get into building in the future this drag and drop calendar for your ideas and what you're planning. I think that's really nice for that. But also how to use templates to make your life so much easier. So when you want to add something, you're not having to re-add and all the information that you're constantly re-adding, that you can add a template. You can make a bunch of different templates for different types of streams. You could make a template, by the way, Lala, for different collaborators that come live stream quite often, for me, for some other people. So when you go to add them into your upcoming stream or your area that you were talking about, you would just choose J.A. Smith, and all my information's already dumped and already in there and saved. All right. So you don't have to re-enter anything.
That's
So
great idea.
templates are such a lifesaver and a time saver. So I think that's an area we should start talking about as well as templates. So
All
I'm
right.
excited
So
for that.
as you see, guys, so Jay's talking about future stuff that we are actually gonna talk more about. Yes, indeed, because Jay actually agreed to collaborate with Mommy Lala Mommy Guide Inc. until the end of the year, and then we will plan something out for next year, right?
There's always something
So
to talk about. There's a
definitely
lot.
every two
The
months.
mindset and productivity tools never end, right? So
Exactly. So guys, so now is June. All right. So we will see Jay again last part of July. All right. So
yep.
hopefully
Yep.
if his schedule again permits, we will tell you in advance when that is gonna be. So for now, practice on Notion. All right, practice, watch, rewatch the two other videos that we had with Jay. There are all actually links as there also for you to use so that you can practice as we did. And again, thank you so much, Jay. Again, I know
Thank you for
there's so
having
many
me.
things happening right now, but you actually still found time to be able to be with us tonight.
It's my pleasure. I love your community. This has been always a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to the end of July to meet with you guys again and have some fun stuff that we can juice up our dashboards
All right.
and our
Actually,
approaches. I think
it's
it'd be a lot of fun.
August. Every 2 months, right?
August?
So
Okay.
August, yes. All right, there you go.
All right. You
And
give
we
me the
have
date and I'll be there. So.
all right, exactly. But we would want you monthly. Then it's too much for you. Jason says, thank you, Jay. And also some Simply Matet. Thanks, Jeff. Super helpful. All right. So again, thank you, Jay. And I hope you have a great day. I don't know if you're going to go back to sleep because we
No,
woke you
I
up.
got a full day. Got a full day ahead of me, and that's got me nice and invigorated. And I love this. I love teaching. And if anybody has, including you, Lala, if you guys have anything you want to see me try to do, any other questions, if you have any comments about how I can explain this even better, I'm always open to that because I think we have to. This is complex sometimes, and I want to make sure people understand the tool and we don't just run over people with it. So please find me in my drumupstudio@gmail.com. Please find me and write me any questions you have. And
All
Lala,
right. So
I hope
all
you
of
have a
those
wonderful night.
details, guys, will be in the description below after this. All right. So again, if you want to know more about Jay, just head on to those links. And of course, if you love what you've seen so far, and Jay talked about what is in his YouTube channel right now and what is to come. So you can head on to his YouTube channel, Jay Smith, and subscribe if you want. Again, thank
If
you
you want,
so
that's-
much, Jay. And thank
All
you
right,
to
everybody.
everybody who was able to join us. Again, this is a special stream for
Yes.
tonight. And I'll see you again, Jay, in August. Bye.
Yes. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. All righty. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for joining Jay Smith and I tonight. Have a great rest of the night or day wherever you are. Bye.
Every soul, every season lives outside.
Problem.
Okay, hold on, Jay. I think